ordinary tree, give them something special. The Holiday Flower Tree from 1-800-Flowers. Each one is individually crafted with lush evergreens and only the freshest cut flowers. The Holiday Flower Tree. Perfect holiday cheer for anyone to put anywhere. With 1-800-Flowers, your holiday gifts aren't under the tree, they are the tree. 1-800-Flowers. Just call our name.
Is your breath clean and fresh enough to get this close? Get kissably close with Scope. No other leading mouthwash kills more bad breath germs. The minty tingle tells you your breath is fresh. Get kissably close with Scope.
I'm 64. Is there anything I can do to stop bone loss?
Absolutely. Here's proof. In a landmark clinical study, Caltrate actually stopped bone loss in women at risk for osteoporosis, whatever your age.
It's never too late for Caltrate.
We put the world together for you on cable and the internet. MSNBC News, when you really want to know.
Coming up, life goes on for the sons of Princess Diana, while the bodyguard who survived the crash that killed the princess has another conversation with police. We'll have the latest on the investigation. Also, millions of older drivers are on the road, and there are new questions about whether some seniors should be behind the wheel at all. And the White House has a new resident, but what is this dog's name? So far, that's one of the best-kept secrets in Washington. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm John Sigenthaler. Those stories are coming up. But first, the latest headlines, including a controversial decision by the president, from NBC News and Gulston Dart.
President Clinton has appointed Bill Lan Lee as acting head of the Justice Department's Civil Rights Division. Lee was nominated for the position in June, but Senate Republicans would not bring the nomination to a vote. They don't like Lee's position on affirmative action, saying he is in favor of using racial quotas, something Lee denies. Today's move by the president means Lee could still be confirmed by Congress. Closing arguments are continuing in the Oklahoma City bombing trial. Prosecutors say Terry Nichols was a full partner in the bombing, and they used a chart to outline the government allegations against him. The prosecution also said that Nichols and convicted bomber Timothy McVeigh used aliases as they traveled the country buying ingredients for the bomb. The jury is expected to get the case no later than tomorrow. And there has been another shooting at a high school, this time in Arkansas. 2 students were wounded by an unknown gunman as they were walking into the school in Stamps, Arkansas. Both students were shot in the hip. Doctors say they are in good condition and should be discharged from the hospital sometime soon. The gunman remains at large. And a plane carrying 86 people has crashed near an airport in the United Arab Emirates. The chartered jet was flying from the former Soviet Republic of Tajikistan to the United Arab Emirates when it went down in the desert. A rescue official tells Reuters news agency one person has survived the crash and is in very critical condition. The Pentagon will be inoculating U.S. soldiers against the deadly anthrax bacteria. Defense Secretary William Cohen says an increased risk of biological warfare makes the vaccinations necessary. Several nations are believed to produce anthrax. The biological agent can be stored for long periods of time, and even small amounts are lethal. Cuban leader Fidel Castro is playing Santa Claus this year. He's bringing Christmas to Cuba for the first time in nearly 20 years. He told the parliament it's a gesture of goodwill for the coming papal visit in January. He plans the holiday as a one-time event. Christmas was abolished as a holiday in Cuba 28 years ago. And the trading day has ended on Wall Street. The Dow finished on the upside today. Preliminary figures show the Dow closed up 84 points. And a quick program note for you. President Clinton is holding a news conference tomorrow on a variety of topics. Our coverage begins at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Brian Williams will be anchoring during that news coverage. And those are the stories making headlines at this hour from NBC News and MSNBC. I'm Gulston Dart.
Gulston, thank you very much. The second Oklahoma City bombing trial is beginning to wind down. In Denver, the attorneys are making their closing arguments. The day began with the prosecution saying it had presented a mountain of proof that Terry Nichols embarked on a, quote, road to destruction when he helped plan the attack. NBC's Dan Abrams has the latest now from Denver. He's just come out of the courtroom. Dan?
John, the prosecution has concluded its closing argument in this case. They're still going to get another opportunity after the defense is done to present a rebuttal closing argument. But Beth Wilkinson just finished up by attacking Terry Nichols' story she was laying out all of the lies the prosecution believes that he told to agents when he was questioned 2 days after the bombing. The most important lies the prosecution saying about exactly what Terry Nichols was doing on the 16th of April and the 18th of April, 3 days before and 1 day before the bombing. Of course, the prosecution saying that on April 18th, Terry Nichols was helping to put together that bomb. Terry Nichols claims he was at a gun show, and the prosecution trying to say why that could not have been the case. Also attacking the defense's argument that there were other people involved here, a John Doe 2, all sorts of different sightings of someone else with Timothy McVeigh. And the prosecution referred to all of these sightings of different John Doe 2s looking all sorts of different ways depending on who you talk to, the equivalent of sightings of Elvis. And the prosecution said that the various descriptions that they received for all the different people who talked about John Doe 2s probably would have covered 3/4 of the American population.
Dan, if you could, give us a sense of what courtroom observers are saying about this, and as we come down to the wire, what sort of case the prosecution has made.
Well, the prosecution is referring to its case as an avalanche of evidence. And there is no doubt that there is a lot of circumstantial evidence in this case linking Terry Nichols to the bombing. The problem for the prosecution may lie with the fact that Terry Nichols wasn't there when the bomb went off. And remember, the 10 of the 11 charges here claim that Terry Nichols either used a weapon of mass destruction, used an explosive, or is responsible for murdering 8 federal agents who were in that building. And they're going to have to prove that. Now, he could have aided or abetted, meaning he could have been helping and still be responsible for those crimes, but that's where they may have more of a difficulty than with simply proving that Terry Nichols was involved in a conspiracy to blow up the Alfred P. Murrah building.
This is especially difficult for the family members of the victims of this bombing who continue to watch both of these trials, and it could be that if Terry Nichols is convicted, that we still might never know exactly what happened, right?
Well, that's right, and that's what a lot of people are saying, because even in the prosecution's indictment, it says Terry Nichols, Timothy McVeigh, and others unknown. So the prosecution conceding it, there very well may have been other people involved in this conspiracy, there may have been others involved in this bombing, and they simply don't know who they are. But regardless of whether they're put to death or not, whether they're sitting in jail, it seems unlikely that either Timothy McVeigh or Terry Nichols, if convicted, would ever come forward and say, here are other people who were involved, and that they'd actually be able to prosecute. But I'll tell you, the Oklahoma state authorities are certainly continuing to pursue that in the hope that they can find out exactly who else may have been responsible.
All right, NBC's Dan Abrams in Denver. Dan, thanks a bunch.
Okay, John.
Now, when Your World, Your Way continues, we'll go live to London and bring you the latest developments in the investigation into the death of Princess Diana. And we'll look at how local governments are dealing with elderly drivers who may be a danger on the roads.
MSNBC News, when you really want to know. Brought to you in part by Microsoft. Where do you want to go today?
I'm Simon Woodruff, and what I do is Yo Sushi. Technology for us is about learning our own business. Nobody in their right mind would open a restaurant if you look at the figures. We have to find a new supplier for seaweed. Just a very quickly seared tuna. I don't actually come from a restaurant background. I come with an open mind.
Relief can't come fast enough when you have diarrhea.
We have a problem. We have a delay.
We're gonna miss our window. Our guy needs Imodium AD.
He needs something faster.
Faster?
Faster.
Introducing Imodium Advanced with a new formula that adds a second medicine for more complete relief that's even faster than Imodium AD. Nothing works like new Imodium Advanced. Faster relief you can count on. Lucky and Mary Ann are very much in love. Phyllis and Jeffrey were made for each other.
You're the most fascinating woman I've ever met in my entire life.
Yes, I know.
But no relationship is ever perfect.
So, what is your husband doing right now?
Same thing as your wife.
Nick Nolte, Julie Christie, Lara Flynn Boyle, and Johnny Lee Miller.
Afterglow. Starts December 26th at Angelica and Regency.
A lot of corporations have approached me to be their spokesperson. Once this big perfume company wanted me to do all these tests. So, anyway, they strapped me down to this table and accidentally sprayed all this stuff in my eyes. But it wasn't their clumsiness that put me off. In the end, I just said, I can't hawk your product, man. I think people smell good just the way they are.
As you know, information is hard to come by in the investigation into the Paris car crash that killed Princess Diana. French law is aimed at keeping a lid on the information. NBC's Donatella Lorch has been working sources from London, and she updates us now on the latest revelations into that investigation. Hi, Donatella.
Hi, John. As you know, it's the largest investigation in a car crash in Parisian history. Now, what we've gathered is as this information is entering the magistrate's file, there are over 1,000 pages of interviews with witnesses, of lab tests on the car, on the driver of the car. We have found out that the bodyguard, who is the lone survivor, Trevor Rees-Jones, gave a second interview with the French police as his first interview since he left the hospital. And he brings some extra little tidbits along to find out what happened that night. We find out yet again he re-emphasizes the fact that Dodi Al-Fayed that night was very upset with the paparazzi. When they drove in from the airport on their way back from Sardinia, from the airport to the Ritz Hotel, he was very upset that they were being harassed and hounded. We also find out another interesting thing. It was Dodi Al-Fayed, John, who ordered Henri Paul, the driver, to drive the Mercedes that night. It was no one else. It was not the management of the Ritz Hotel. It was Dodi himself. And also, very interestingly, Trevor Rees-Jones says that he remembers Henri Paul sitting at the bar of the Ritz Hotel having a drink of a yellow-colored liquid. Now, as a matter of fact, the Al-Fayed family, through their spokesman, Michael Cole, has acknowledged that, for the first time, acknowledged that Henri Paul, the driver, had something to drink that night. He had a pastis, which is a yellow-colored liqueur. John?
All right, Donatella, in the meantime, life goes on for the young princes, William and Harry. Tell us a little bit about what they've been doing.
Well, tonight is their first appearance together since their mother's death. They are going to the opening of the movie, the Spice Girl movie. It just started a little while ago. They were seen arriving with their school friends and their father. Prince Charles was there as well. And it's an interesting one because for the brothers, Harry has already met the Spice Girls. He met them in South Africa, along with his father, who was there on school vacation last month. He met them in South Africa. He met them with Nelson Mandela, and he is going to introduce his brother later tonight to the Spice Girls. John?
In addition, there's some interesting information or a story out that suggests that the star has been picked to play Princess Diana in a new movie.
Oh, that's an interesting story because apparently this is the former movie-making partner of Dodi Al-Fayed, who is going to make a movie about Diana, and he has chosen, according to the newspapers, he has chosen a porn star to play Diana. This is creating an outrage, obviously in America, in the UK as well, because they don't want Diana to be portrayed by a porn star. It's also very interesting because something slightly associated to that is coming to the forefront here in England, John. There is information that there are many, many bids to buy the wrecked Mercedes where Diana died. So these are very parallel, very shocking stories.
All right. Donatella Lorch reporting. Donatella, thank you very much. Now, there are love stories, and then there's the love story. The Ryan O'Neal, Ally McGraw tearjerker that sent a generation running for their hankies. Now there are reports the film may be based on the romance between Vice President Al Gore and his wife Tipper. But NBC's Stan Bernard separates fact from fiction.
Could Ryan O'Neal's role in Eric Siegel's three-handkerchief 1970 Weeper love story have been inspired by the Vice President, Al Gore? Gore has acknowledged that a miscommunication on his part led Time magazine reporters to believe that Gore and his wife Tipper were the models for the romance novel, which became a hit movie. Siegel, who created the fiction, said it was part Gore, but also part Tommy Lee Jones, who was Gore's roommate at Harvard. To further confuse this tempest in a political teapot, Jones had a small role in the movie.
Hey, Barrett got a new goodie? Yeah, Jenny Cavallari.
And it was Jones' stepping stone to stardom. Siegel told the New York Times he was befuddled by the Time magazine story. He said only one aspect of the O'Neill role was inspired by Gore, the rich kid with a controlling father. But the tough, macho guy, who's a poet at heart, was inspired by Jones. Siegel also said that while he knew Tipper Gore, then a Boston University student, she was not the basis for the female love interest who dies at the end, played by Ali MacGraw. He said, "I did not draw a thing from Tipper. I knew her only as Al's date." All of this grew out of a small section of a Time cover story assessing Gore's chances of becoming president. Siegel says Gore calls it all a misunderstanding. A Gore spokeswoman recalled the most quoted line from the Siegel fiction.
Love means never having to say you're sorry.
She added, "In politics, you have to say you're sorry all the time." Stan Bernard, NBC News, New York.
And we will be back with more right after this.
Don't you wish there was a place where the people making news are asked hard questions? Go at me.
Well, no.
Where people who report the news tell what's really going on.
Well, that's insanity.
A show where politicians actually tell the truth.
Not let him off at nothing.
Where the interviewer is not afraid to speak his mind.
I've had it with these people.
The place is MSNBC. The man is Don Imus. And the show is
Imus in the Morning.
Get the real stories behind the news. Weekday mornings on MSNBC.
Oddest looking group of people I've ever seen.
1-800-Micron PC. Computers now we ship for free. Holidays should be so easy. Very, very fast delivery. Time to update your computer with award-winning technology. Intel Pentium 2 processor. 1-800-Micron PC. Best performance for the price. Every gift should be so nice. 1-800-Micron PC.
Hey, Santa, get this Micron Millennia with 233 MHz Intel Pentium 2 processor for $19.99, including printer and monitor. Or this Micron Transport with 166 MHz Intel Pentium processor with MMX technology, 12.1-inch active matrix display, and 56K fax modem for $24.99. Call 1-800-Micron-PC for award-winning support, free shipping, and very fast delivery with your Micron Computers Now system.
This holiday, do something a little untraditional. Instead of an ordinary tree, give them something special. The Holiday Flower Tree from 1-800-Flowers. Each one is individually crafted with lush evergreens and only the freshest cut flowers. The Holiday Flower Tree. Perfect holiday cheer for anyone to put anywhere. With 1-800-Flowers, your holiday gifts aren't under the tree, they are the tree. 1-800-Flowers. Just call our name.
Like millions of other college students, Chelsea Clinton returned home this weekend for the Christmas holiday. She'd completed her first quarter at Stanford University. The first daughter attended the Christmas in Washington benefit yesterday for the Children's National Medical Center held at the National Building Museum. Now, Chelsea Clinton wasn't the only one who had a homecoming at the White House this past weekend. A 3-month-old chocolate-colored Labrador was allowed to move into the White House after successfully completing an obedience training course. President Clinton has gotten plenty of suggestions on what to name the pup.
I want to thank everybody, all these kids that came in all over the country. I've never gotten so many suggestions in my life. And some of them were quite hilarious. Advise and consent. Someone, a child yesterday said I should name the dog Top Secret, so I could run around the White House saying, "Top secret, top secret." So anyway, I got all these names, and we had a little family conference last night. We got down to 2 names, and we selected one. And I think I'll announce it tomorrow at the press conference.
And so he's supposed to announce that at the press conference tomorrow. We will cover that and tell you what he names the dog. Now, the Clintons' dog was a gift from a family friend, but a dog can be more than man's best friend. It can also be a political asset. More from Suzanne Malveaux.
Make no bones about it, there's a new pooch in the White House. President Clinton was spotted jogging with his new 3-month-old chocolate lab.
The president's desire to have one loyal friend in Washington.
The cynics say Clinton, dogged by campaign fundraising inquiries, has a chance to get out of the doghouse himself by focusing on the newest member of the Clinton clan. But the White House insists Clinton's puppy love is genuine. Already, the presidential pup has inspired a nationwide campaign on the web to come up with a name. The most popular so far, Donor, Waffle, Bubba, Chief, and Shoes to match Socks the cat. Roy Rowan, co-author of First Dogs, American Presidents and Their Best Friends, says every president has owned at least one dog, and Clinton's move is a good one.
It's very important because it makes the president more human. After all, there are 54 million dog owners in the country, and they identify with a man who kind of bonds with his dog.
Presidents have had almost every kind of pet imaginable at the White House, including alligators, grizzly bears, and even silkworms. But as for labs, the Clintons can expect a dog that's loyal, good with people, and very playful.
Not much of a watchdog. You know, they love everybody. I mean, Jack the Ripper, Fairy Godmother, they're all equal. They'll go with anybody.
Since George Washington, presidents and their dogs have had a long, colorful history. President Warren Harding's Airedale Laddie had his own hand-carved chair to sit in during cabinet meetings and a personal White House valet. Fala, FDR's Scotty, would stand at attention during the national anthem and reportedly got more fan mail than the president. He was buried with FDR and is now resurrected in bronze beside his master's memorial.
The kids, like all kids, love the dog. And I just want to say this right now, that regardless of what they say about it, we're going to keep it.
In 1952, a Cocker Spaniel named Checkers helped save Nixon's place on the Eisenhower-Nixon ticket when a story about his secret slush fund surfaced. In a famous speech, Nixon used the dog, given as a gift, to win public sympathy. President Lyndon B. Johnson had the habit of picking up his beagles, named simply him and her, by the ears. Angry dog lovers complained, but Johnson insisted it was good for them. LBJ also entertained guests by howling duets with his mutt Yuki in the Oval Office. Most recently, First Mutt Millie wrote her own book, a bestseller, and donated the royalties to charity. But even she couldn't escape the unforgiving Washington press, who deemed her the world's ugliest dog.
Mrs. Bush actually handed a microphone to Millie during a TV interview, asked if she chose to comment. We got calls and letters, and there were stories all over the world. Never desecrate the first dog.
But presidents have learned there are no guarantees in Washington. After all, it's a dog-eat-dog world out there. Suzanne Malveaux, NBC News, Washington.
And so tomorrow, as we mentioned, President Clinton will hold a news conference at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Of course, we will cover it here live on MSNBC, and he will announce the name of the new dog. We'll be right back after this.
How does America know? When the big stories break, America knows with MSNBC, because only one cable news channel is backed by the journalists and worldwide resources of NBC News. Only one delivers the news-gathering power of over 200 local stations across the nation. And only one puts you in touch with a global internet 24 hours a day. When you really want to know, turn to America's new leader in cable news, MSNBC. Tonight, The Fayeds admit alcohol was involved in Di and Dodi's deaths. Hear the latest in the investigation on Internight tonight at 7 Eastern on MSNBC.
Have you outgrown your current position or find yourself unemployed? Then it's time to look in the National Business Employment Weekly. You'll find top jobs with top companies and advice on landing them. Order 8 issues for only $38 and you'll also get the Job Search Guide free. Look in the National Business Employment Weekly. You never know what you'll find.
To subscribe, call 800-952-2626. That's 800-952-2626.
Kennedy Cabot, one of America's largest discount brokerage firms, offers their clients one of the lowest commission rates in the industry. If you purchase 600 shares from some full-cost brokers, you pay over $330 in commissions. Purchase the same 600 shares through Kennedy Cabot, and you'll pay a commission of only $30. Purchase the same 600 shares from other discount brokers, and you'll pay over $100 in commissions. At Kennedy Cabot, your commission is only $30. Kennedy Cabot, saving our customers money for over 36 years.
A lawnmower with an advanced overhead valve engine to cut emissions. An outboard motor that's 90% cleaner than typical outboards. And the new LEV Accord, which meets a 70% lower emission standard than regulations require. If you own these Honda products, what will the neighbors call you?
This town counts on me. No time to get slowed down by irregularity. My doctor suggested Metamucil, the only leading brand with 100% natural fiber.
Keeps me regular gently so I can keep up.
Metamucil, the doctor's natural choice for regularity.
My Mile-a-Minute Mike. Nothing stops him except a fever. That's when I'm glad there's Children's Advil. It can work almost 45 minutes faster than Children's Tylenol. Lasts up to 8 hours, too. That's my Mike. Children's Advil.
They're meant to make you look, maybe to make you laugh, and hopefully to make you stop in and do some shopping. The Today Show's Al Roker talked to the people behind those department store Christmas windows in New York.
So Simon, what kind of pressure are you guys under to come up with the different windows each year?
At Barney's New York, we have a great team, and it's something we all enjoy. We all work on it together, so it's really fun. It's the most recreational. It's therapy.
What do you need therapy from, Simon?
Life. Christmas.
Barney's windows are less traditional than most, but other stores do stay true to Christmas classics.
Here at Macy's on Herald Square, they are ready for Christmas with what you might consider traditional windows. And this year, they're doing them up in a real Grinchy style. Boy, these mannequins are getting dumber looking every year. So Sam, tell us about the Macy's window this year.
Well, the windows all over the store are all about Seuss. It's how the Grinch stole Christmas.
But when you're presented a theme like this, they say, Sam, okay, it's the Grinch. What do?
Well, you just try to come up with something that's really new and innovative and fresh and bright that the kids will like.
What's the best part about doing the windows each Christmas?
Being finished with them.
Ho, ho, ho. Meanwhile, over at Lord & Taylor's, another literary-inspired display.
This year's Lord & Taylor Christmas windows represent, based on Charles Dickens, the writer, A Christmas Carol. We're already thinking some new ideas for next year, so the whole process takes about a year.
And finally, with a mix of old and new, Saks Fifth Avenue's windows tell the tale of the Nutcracker and also pay tribute to the late fashion designer Gianni Versace.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
But if you only have time to see one store window in all of New York, make sure it's this one. You'll be in for a big surprise.
It's the most wonderful time of the
year. And when we come back, we'll bring you all the day's top stories, and we'll take a look at the load the nation's postal workers are facing this holiday season. After this.
The news with
Brian Williams.
The stories and people making headlines.
And the best of NBC News on MSNBC.
Tonight at 9 on MSNBC.
Critics call it mature and offbeat.
What is this, some kind of mother thing?
Mother would never approve of this. Luminously tender. Nolte is magnificent. Christie is magnificent in the greatest role of her career.
He's the most sexual man I've ever met. How many men have you met? 2.
Afterglow.
I do hope they're enjoying themselves as much as we are.
I don't.
Starts December 26th.
When I was little, I never dreamed I'd grow up to be who I am today. In fact, I never dreamed, period. I think it was because of my dad. Just before I'd slip into a really good REM sleep, he used to come into my room, get really close to my ear, and go, "Ah!" But I think he was just trying to toughen me up.
As Americans grow older, so do the people driving cars. We'll see how the nation is coping with elderly drivers, some of whom may be a danger on the roads. And if you still haven't found a gift for the gadget lover in your family, then we might just have the thing. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm John Sigenthaler. This is Your World, Your Way. Those stories are coming up, but first, the latest headlines from NBC News and Gulston Dart.
Doing a partial end run around Senate Republicans, President Clinton has appointed Bill Land-Lee as acting head of the Justice Department's Civil Rights Division. Lee will be responsible for enforcing anti-discrimination laws.
While he will have the full authority and support to carry out the duties of the Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights, I still look forward to striking the word acting from his title. He is a remarkable American, and I am confident that he will enforce our civil rights laws with the same professionalism, honesty, and integrity he has exhibited throughout his life and career.
Senate Republicans have refused to vote on Lee's nomination, saying he supports racial quotas, a charge he denies. Chief UN Weapons Inspector Richard Butler says Iraq will not budge from its refusal to allow inspectors into presidential palaces. Butler says Iraqi officials told him the palaces will remain off limits forever.
Presidential sites, there is an unresolved issue. Only the Security Council can decide whether or not that will be acceptable. But with respect to other sites in Iraq, I am satisfied that we will do better than we've done in the past.
Butler plans to return to Baghdad next month for follow-up talks. A new strain of chicken flu that has appeared in Hong Kong poses a real threat of a world epidemic. That's what one of the men who helped identify it says. The flu has killed 2 people and infected 4 more. It appears to have come from chickens. That prompted the Hong Kong government to close the territory's largest chicken market for disinfecting. The quality of organic foods will be coming under the eye of the federal government. Agriculture Secretary Dan Glickman announced new regulations today to help define what should and should not be considered organic. The proposal will replace a patchwork of varying state guidelines. And those are the stories making headlines at this hour from NBC News and MSNBC. I'm Gulston Dart.
Gulston, thank you very much. Now, with people living longer, there are older Americans driving cars. In millions of cases, the car is not only a necessity, it also means some of their independence, too. But what happens when old age limits the driver's ability to drive safely? Who makes the call to take away the car keys? It's a growing problem. We're going to talk about what's being done with Dr. Donna Cohen, who's standing by in Tampa, Florida. She's a professor of the Department of Aging and Mental Health at the University of South Florida. Welcome, Doctor. Thanks for being with us.
It's a pleasure, John.
Let's just start with how big a problem this is nationwide.
Well, nationwide, we have over 24 million drivers on the road over the age of 70, and that's projected to increase to over 40 million over the next 25 years.
But does that necessarily mean all those people who are older can't drive well?
Not at all. Age isn't the issue when it comes to driving. Medical conditions and particularly cognitive disorders like Alzheimer's disease are putting older drivers at high risk.
Is it that they can't see well, that their reaction time might not be as good as it was when they were younger?
That's exactly the case. I think we have to separate out into two groups. There are those people who are older who have memory disorders, who can't be vigilant, who can't see, who can't make decisions and track things on the roads. But then older people who have medical limitations, particularly those who can't see well, those who have back problems are at very high risk for crashes, as well as memory problems that aren't attributable to Alzheimer's disease.
And we have a graphic up there that says signs of a hazardous driver. And one of them is that the hazardous driver complains of discomfort. What does that mean, discomfort while driving?
Well, the studies in Iowa have shown that back pain is a big factor in fatal crashes in older drivers. And many older people will complain of back problems and muscular problems. And relatives have to take these very seriously and evaluate whether they can continue driving a car.
Let's see if we can move on to this next graphic, and it's a pretty good example. It says, that's actually not the one I'm talking about, the one about how to take away the keys. How do you take away the keys?
That's a delicate issue, but my advice is the following. Sit down with your older relative and choose a time such as a lunch, a breakfast, and try to make it a pleasant and intimate experience. Don't lead in and complain and take control of the conversation. Ask your mother, your father, your aunt, your uncle whether they're uncomfortable driving, and give them the opportunity to talk about it in a way that doesn't make them feel shame and uncomfortable. Talk openly about the fact that you're concerned about the fact that they may hurt someone or themselves, and ask them to talk more and more about it. The more it becomes a conversation and a dialogue rather than a demand to take away the keys, the more successful you're going to be.
Should you ask them to take a driving test?
Yes, you should. And indeed, AARP and the National Transportation Association offers courses for older people, and in the course of taking this, there are opportunities to test their ability to really handle a car safely.
And what if they don't listen to you? What if they won't give up the keys and you know they're a dangerous driver?
Well, there are a number of things that you can do. I advise that you schedule an appointment with your a parent or your grandparent with their family physician and let someone in authority talk to them. I've actually sat in conferences, particularly with families where there's someone who has Alzheimer's disease who won't give up driving, and I'll talk to them about how afraid I am for them, and I'll ask them for their license, and I'll actually cut it up with them and say, we're going to find some other ways that we can get you around safely. Whether it's Alzheimer's disease or any other medical problem, it's very important that when you take away the keys, that you have done your homework and you can give that person options. Losing their car is devastating, and they're asking how they're going to get around, and you have to be able to answer that question.
When does this start?
When does what start?
Well, at what age? Is there any particular age that you begin to see problems?
Well, it isn't age again, but if you look at late life, when we talk about the oldest old, those people 85 and older, there's some very competent drivers at that age. But in some states, I believe Illinois has some of the toughest evaluations, people at that age have to be looked at or evaluated every 2 years. The older you get...
Some old people say that's not fair.
Well, I think we have to be very, very careful. Driving is something that we do. Since the 1900s, the car has been our way of getting around. And as we begin to look at the issues with older drivers, we have to make sure this isn't an age issue. Older drivers who get into trouble and who have crashes and fatal crashes are those who have medical problems and cognitive problems, and we have to find better ways.
That comes with age.
Well, it's
correct?
A risk factor that in the oldest old, we see more of these conditions, but you can also be that age and not have those conditions.
Exactly, but if the statistics show that there are more of them out on the road that are having these sorts of problems and maybe accidents as a result, then that's in some ways the result of age, isn't it?
Well, it coexists with age, but we shouldn't ever say that you have to stop driving because of your age. And what we can do is to develop some standards for evaluating those people who specifically have memory problems or have strokes. And indeed, 1 in 5 drivers who are out there over the age of 65 are on medications like benzodiazepines and antihypertensive medications, which have side effects which affect their alertness. And in fact, on many of these prescriptions, particularly the benzodiazepines, they shouldn't be driving.
All right, Dr. Donna Cohen, good advice. Thanks very much for joining us today.
Thank you very much, John.
Up next, we'll tell you where to find the gifts over the internet to help shed some of the pounds you may very well gain over the holidays. That's after this.
Tonight, they've all been licensed to kill and all been
Fun. You know the rest.
Tonight at 6 Eastern on MSNBC. What does America really think about the day's top story? Tell MSNBC what you think about the question of the day on News Chat, weekdays at 5 Eastern on MSNBC.
This holiday, do something a little untraditional. Instead of an ordinary tree, give them something special. The Holiday Flower Tree from 1-800-Flowers. Each one is individually crafted with lush evergreens and only the freshest cut flowers. The Holiday Flower Tree. Perfect holiday cheer for anyone to put anywhere. With 1-800-Flowers, your holiday gifts aren't under the tree, they are the tree. 1-800-Flowers. Just call our name.
Can your radio do this? Only one radio gives you such big stereo sound, yet it's small enough to fit almost anywhere. The incredible new Wave Radio from Bose. Only the Wave Radio can fill any room in your house with your favorite music the way it was meant to be heard. The Bose Wave Radio. It'll make a big difference in the way you listen to music. Call today to learn about our 30-day in-home trial.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas.
Glade Holiday Candle Scents. Created by nature. Captured by Glade.
When sinus congestion brings on pain, it can feel like torture. Advil Cold and Sinus stops the pain and pressure with the combined strength of Advil and a powerful decongestant. Advil Cold and Sinus, relief that goes right to your head.
The halls with boughs of holly, fa la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, fa la 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 la.
Have you got a gearhead on your Christmas list? Well, someone who loves any gadget with flashing lights, buzzing buzzers, plenty of buttons to push? If so, the Xmas Files may just have the perfect gift. The man they call the Giz Wiz, gadget expert Dick DeBartolo, is here to show us some of the best buys that are out there. Dick, welcome. Thanks for being
thanks.
here. Good to see you.
I have some neat stuff. Every year I look for gifts that they're probably not going to have already. This little guy is so neat. It's only $15. It's called Tote Guard, and I hope we can see it here. This is theoretically in a restaurant or at the airport. You're reading the paper. Women can hang their pocketbook on it. This little guy weighs like 1.5 ounces. You put it on the table. Someone reaches under, tries to take your jacket or your pocketbook. Little tote guard goes off.
And that's to prevent those thieves out there.
Those thieves. Actually, I got it because a woman wrote in and said, Dick, someone took my pocketbook, find something. Tote guard, it's about $15 from Zelco. First Alert's introducing a couple of new carbon monoxide detectors. This little guy is called a standalone unit, battery operated, so you could take it to a hotel, move it from room to room. If there is an emergency, there's a little card that pulls down, tells you how to deal with the emergency. This is the world's first smoke detector, carbon monoxide detector.
I've heard about these.
In one. So it's 2 different light patterns, 2 different sound patterns, and everything. That the 2 detectors are under $50.
So and separately they cost a little bit more than that.
A little bit more.
This is a pretty good deal.
It's a good deal. Also, if you don't want 2 units on your ceiling, then you can have the 2-in-1.
They've come out with some of these new ones, I understand, where the battery lasts for an awfully long time. I'm not sure whether this one is one of them.
This is using a regular 9-volt. Are you going to set? Oh, you're going to set it off.
No,
because
not yet.
It's loud.
I'm not going to do that.
It's loud. A lot of people don't realize if you lose the remote control, a universal remote control will control your TV set. All you do is tell it what brand. This is from Sol, S-O-L-E. A couple of neat things about this. When you push any button, it's hard to see in there, or you can see a little bit. All the buttons are backlit. It stands up, makes it easier to lose. And also, if your TV doesn't have a sleep timer, this will shut your TV off for you.
Oh, that's great.
$17.
Yeah.
SOLE, sold.
And you lose those all the time.
That's right. A great
Or you
stocking.
can never find them.
Never find them. A great stocking stuffer, alkaline batteries. These are the Duracell batteries with the little power check. In the side, you push the 2 buttons. Tells you how much power is in the battery. So those are the longest lasting alkalines. A music lover on your list, now a little high end. $150. These are Rekaton wireless headphones. These are called 900 megahertz, which means you can have the sender down at your stereo in the living room, go up in the bedroom. This broadcasts through walls, through doors.
And that's better because some of them I've seen are used infrared or they're line of sight, correct?
This man knows his stuff.
And if you move around the wall or whatever it is, or you get out of the line of sight at all, it goes
You lose
out.
it, right. So 150 feet.
Yeah, well, that's why it's more expensive, too.
Well, $150, okay?
That was like $30.
Oh, no. This is great. This is from Lumatech. This is called Travel Time. This is a neat little guy. It's a travel clock with a snooze alarm. Put it this way and bring this up. It becomes a little lamp, especially if you're traveling with a laptop computer. And put that down, close this here, and click that. It's also a flashlight. Okay, 3-in-1, about $30. Lumatech also makes flash cards, about $7. These are great to put in your pocket. They're real bright.
Good for kids.
If you
How
have
much are those?
$7. If you have a home handyman on your list, John, this is so neat. This is called the Repeater 25. It has a built-in tape recorder. So when you go taking measurements and you don't have your pencil and paper with you, you just go to the ruler and go 1 7/8. Go to the next dimension, 1 7/8. When you get back to the desk, I'll hold it up to my mic. 1 7/8. Each time you push it, it gives you another dimension. It's under $30, and for Christmas they make the repeater ruler and a stud sensor under $50. That's from Zicon, Z-I-R-C-O-N.
Quite incredible.
He likes that.
I like that one.
Johnny, you take it home and you can practice. You can put on your own show.
Well, I don't know about that. Go ahead.
This is really neat. This is called GameCon. Every year Duracell has this toy survey, and you can get the results at 1-800-BEST-TOYS. What I love about this is not only can kids play video games on it, you can keep phone lists on it, you can buy an internet cartridge, hook it up to your modem, get and check your email, your text email on GameCon. Okay.
All right, let's start over again. This is way over my head. All right.
Okay, it's a regular. You put cartridges in the side so you can play games.
So this is like a little old video game.
Yeah, it's a handheld game,
Right.
okay? But the difference is, let me just turn it on here. The difference is it also does phone lists. It also has a calendar. It's a little hard to see here. But you can also plug in an internet cartridge. Yeah, you can plug in an internet cartridge, hook it up to your modem. You can check your text email, and you can bring up a little touch screen, and you can actually type messages and send text email.
I see.
Okay, is that neat? That's from Tiger Electronics. And our final guy here is at CompUSA. It's from Franklin Electronics. I don't know if you've heard about this guy. It's called the Rex. Okay, this hooks up to your computer. You download all your appointments, all your phone lists. You send it to this little guy. Holds 3,500 pieces of information. But this is the neat part. When you're ready to go, all the information is in this little guy. Weighs a little more than an ounce. Your to-do list, your calendars. You go back to your computer. You can upgrade it, update it. And what's neat, if you have a laptop computer, the whole Rex goes in the PC card slot. Type what you're supposed to do for the week, goes onto the card. Take
Put
the
it in
card
your
with you.
pocket.
About $170. It's called the Franklin Rex, R-E-X.
What's one of the hottest selling gadgets this year? I mean, these are some of them.
Actually, the Rex is doing very well. Handheld games are doing very well again this year. And actually, computers are doing very well because so many companies have broken the $1,000 price point now. There, Compaq is under there, IBM. Everybody has a $999 computer system now, so everybody can get in there.
And you brought along video games. A specific video game that's hot this year as well?
Boy, you know what? I'm not into the video games for the PC. So,
all right.
Okay.
Well, you've shown me everything you could show me. Dick DeBartolo.
Make your list.
That's just fine. You know them all. It's good to see you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a happy holiday.
All right, you too.
Thanks.
And up next, we'll tell you where to find some deals on working some of those added pounds off from your holiday meals after this. Don't go away.
pressure against Iraq is heating up again. But if Saddam keeps playing games, will he finally pay the price? On the big show tonight at 8 Eastern on MSNBC. Ooh, a computer with the Intel Pentium 2 processor. You know it's fast, and you thought it was priced just out of your reach. Gotcha. Until now. The 1999 PC with the Pentium 2 processor from Gateway. Complete with 32 megs of RAM, 17-inch monitor, AGP graphics, and a whole lot more. Call us at 1-800-GATEWAY and we'll build one for you.
Of all the passions people possess, perhaps none is as intense as the passion for trading. And there's no better place to indulge it than at National Discount Brokers. National Discount Brokers, the broker for those with a passion for trading.
To commemorate the opening coin toss ceremony, the National Football League commissioned Environment to create the official game coin for the New York Giants. And now you can reserve one of these historic New York Giants game coins for only $59.95. A limited edition of 7,500 game coins will be minted, and each is individually numbered with a certificate of authenticity. The coin is minted with 1 troy ounce of pure silver, and if you call right now, you'll receive this collector's display case absolutely free. Reserve your official New York Giants game coin. Call 1-800-257-5700.
Wake up, New York! It's Time Warner Cable's time to win. I'm George Whipple, and every morning at 7:20 on New York One, I'll be announcing the winners of hundreds of prizes being given away by Time Warner Cable and your favorite channel all year long. I'm talking about stuff like a trip around the world from the History Channel. You're already entered to win just by being a Time Warner Cable customer. So watch me, George Whipple, on New York One at 7:20 a.m. You can win big time.
Welcome back, everyone. It's a growing trend. Thousands of people are buying exercise equipment for the home. It's a good way to shed some of those extra pounds put on during the holidays. And our internet correspondent, MK Flynn, is here to tell us where to buy exercise gear as part of her month-long series on shopping online. Hi, MK.
Hi, John.
You said you've done a lot of your own shopping online this year as well.
I've been doing 90% of my Christmas shopping on the internet. I thought it would be a good way to test out the technology. So far, I'm getting mixed results. Later in the week, I'm going to be giving you a full report on a number of the merchants that I've been looking at. We're supposed to get that Christmas tree that we ordered online. We're supposed to get that on Wednesday.
Right.
I've been doing better with the smaller, less well-known sites than with the big sites, which I think are a little overwhelmed with the volume this year.
Let's talk fitness.
A good place to start is Welcome to Fitness Zone. And this is a place that sells a lot of exercise equipment. It also will allow you to set up some classified ads. So if you have any extra equipment around that you want to get rid of, you could sell it. It also helps you assess your fitness. There's a fitness profile that you can take, and they ask you all kinds of personal details, but including your blood pressure and how often you, yes, I'm going by that quickly, your blood pressure and how often you exercise, and how often you do cardiovascular
And once
exercise.
they get all that information into the computer and it comes out and says...
Well, in my case, it thought that I was in pretty good shape. It said that I was
level 7 athlete.
I thought it was kind. I thought that was nice.
What does that mean?
Well, I think they like my low blood pressure, and they like the fact that I do work out at least 3 times a week. So they say congratulations, but then they make some recommendations. Like, for instance, I had told the program that I like to walk. It told me that I ought to be walking at about 5 miles per hour. I actually walk slower than that, but I walk on an incline. It also makes recommendations, as you might expect, about equipment it wants me to buy. So they're using this site to set up your profile, but also to encourage you to buy.
Well, just out of curiosity, what sort of equipment do they want you to buy?
They recommend some cardiovascular equipment, like this hot item here. They know I like to walk.
For $149.
So the air flyer, right? And also some heart rate monitors, and those are a little bit less expensive. But so they've got a whole catalog there. So that's one good place to start. Also, any sport that you're interested in there's going to be several websites corresponding.
How are you going to find them, though?
Well, the easiest way to find them is to go into a search engine and type in the name of the sport that you're interested in, like baseball. Here we've got this Baseball Express site, and they've got all kinds of equipment, including something we just chose, a baseball glove for $160 there. So then that's baseball, but if you're interested in golf, there are lots and lots of pro golf shops on the web. This one has some nice drivers like this titanium one. Golf, baseball, anything you can think of. Now, they also have things that are a little bit different, like if you get bored watching television or listening to the radio while you're on a treadmill, for example. They've got here a cycle machine that also lets you play video games and computer games.
Which is a great idea because I do it when I work out on one of these machines, and it's fantastic. I don't know about this machine. It might be good, might be bad, but it's something to take your mind off
Might help
while
the
you're
boredom
working out.
factor, exactly.
Is that it? You
No,
got
I've
more?
got one more.
Okay, go for it.
If your back is hurting you after all this exercise, there's a Back Be Nimble website with lots of luxury items like this AcuMasseur, they call it, which has these balls that you roll on your back. And that whole trend of treating yourself to things like aromatherapy and back massage type of stuff is very hot this Christmas. So you can find items like that on the internet as well as in your stores.
You did all of your shopping on the internet. I'm really impressed.
I was in a Barnes & Noble store
you were?
yesterday. Yeah.
Why didn't you buy it on the internet?
Because I was afraid I didn't have enough time to ship it off to North Carolina. I'm buying Dune by Frank Herbert for my godson Adam, who's 10.
Hope he's not watching. MK Flynn, thanks very much. And we'll be back with more after this.
Looking for the best way to get your news on the internet? At MSNBC.com, it's easy to fit your news to your needs. MSNBC on the internet puts the world at your fingertips by letting you choose the news that's important to you. New numbers on the economy affecting your stocks, a developing storm front going to change your travel plans. Want traffic reports, sports scores, even local news? At MSNBC.com, the answers are just a click away. Log on today and see for yourself. MSNBC News, when you really want to know.
On Saturdays, your customers can receive 2-day packages from FedEx for an extra $10.
On Saturdays, your customers can receive 2 to 3-day packages from Priority Mail for no extra charge.
On Saturdays, your customers cannot receive 2-day packages from UPS. Sorry.
So, for the holidays, what's your priority? Switch to Priority Mail from the U.S. Postal Service.
That the party of the first part did not intend for the party of the second.
I should have used Preparation H.
Well, you wouldn't be suffering now. Preparation H helps stop itch and further irritation with a soothing layer of protection.
I should have used Preparation H.
Stops itch, stops further irritation.
I have switched to new Polygrip Ultra Fresh. I haven't seen any of the adhesive that controls denture odor. New Polygrip Ultra Fresh gives me a very strong grip, and Polygrip Ultra Fresh works for me. So I'm really excited about it.
News Chat's coming up at the top of the hour, and John Gibson is here to give us a preview. John?
Hunter Tylo, remember her, the soap star that went to work for Melrose Place and got pregnant, then got fired. She couldn't play the pregnant vixen. The case is going to the jury, and so it goes to our jury, too. Our News Chat question of the day, motherhood versus Melrose. Unfair firing or that's showbiz? And we want you to call 1-888-MSNBC-USA and also vote at 1-888-977-VOTE. What do you think? Should Hunter Tylo have been allowed to play the seductress 8 months pregnant?
You can make your phone call and make your voice known on News Chat with John Gibson. John, thank you very much.
Right.
And that is it for Your World, Your Way. I'm John Sigenthaler. Thanks for watching. We'll take a break. John will be back in the chair after this.
You can't imagine the pain that strikes 1 in 5 seniors.
I didn't want to do anything.
But now some new ways to cure those in need. NBC Nightly News tonight.
MSNBC News, when you really want to know. Brought to you in part by T. Rowe Price, helping people invest with confidence.
What a party. I'll never forget it. We started investing in no-load mutual funds with T. Rowe Price right after Randall's first big promotion. People thought we were crazy investing by ourselves. Few people did it back then. Well, we wanted to enjoy our retirement, work with kids, hang out in the backyard, all 40 zillion acres of it.
For over 50 years, we've been helping people invest with confidence. T. Rowe Price.
One by one they come, only stopping long enough to leave something behind. Each item piles on top of one another, forgotten by all but remembered by you. But just a spoonful of joy can help. So powerful you'll use half the amount you needed with your old liquid to cut through the toughest grease. And joy lasts longer to see you through the whole parade of dishes, so when they return, you'll be ready. Ultra Joy, the little spoonful that does a sinkful, also an antibacterial for hands.